Folks, the Middle East crisis is continuing to boil. We've just got a report of a U.S. drone strike in Baghdad killing a top Iran-backed militia member. And Hezbollah is now responding to the other assassination that happened last week with massive rocket strikes. And all of this is connected, and the timing is not a coincidence. Military analysts in the United States are on edge as they come close to expecting the battle to spread to the Strait of Hormuz. If this gets blockaded by war and death, in addition to the already present conflict in the Red Sea on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula, well, folks, let me tell you, it's going to be an absolute catastrophe. You can expect oil prices to nearly double and Middle East tension to go through the roof as more and more players get drawn in, as we've seen happen since October 7th. Now, at the same time as this tension is continuing to boil like a frog jumping for life, well, U.S. Secretary of State Blinken is in the Middle East trying to calm things down. And in today's video, I'm going to give you the rundown on exactly what is going on, what you need to know, as well as some trade ideas to play in this market environment. And the only thing I ask in return is that you hit that ravishing like button, and also don't forget to subscribe. So as you know, there's a massive proxy war right now between the West and Iran. Iran likes to fight through little militia groups throughout the Middle East, and this battle is worsening. Quote, in recent weeks, the U.S. military has responded several times to more than 70 attacks by Iranian-backed armed groups in Iraq against U.S. bases and camps in Iraq and Syria. Those U.S. strikes twice targeted another Iraqi militia linked to Iran, Hezbollah, as well as several others, from the New York Times. Now, here's the thing, folks. The U.S. has generally avoided striking in Baghdad because of the population density in that city, but a few days ago, they decided that they were going to take out a key figure there with a drone precision strike. This precision strike was on a leader known as Abu Taqwa, a key militia leader linked to Iran, wanted by America for organizing attacks against American personnel for quite a long time. This comes shortly after the key attack on an Iranian-linked Hamas leader in Lebanon that happened last week. And folks, you will continue to see more and more precision strikes on key leaders, and this has been a long-term trend that we've seen for the last couple of months, and this is all sending a very loud message to Iran that the West is indeed willing to take more direct and precise military action, and the question is, how will Iran respond next? We saw what happened after the U.S. sent helicopters to sink some of the Houthi boats. Well, what is going to happen now? The ball is now in Iran's court. But who was this Abu Taqwa individual? Well, he was the commander of a group that is a radical Iraqi Shiite military arm in Syria and Iraq. Established in 2013, the group has gained significant attention for its military and political activity. One of the key characteristics of this group is its fighting capabilities. The group has developed a reputation for its well-trained and disciplined fighters. They have been actively involved in many battles and attacks, particularly in Iraq and Syria. They participated in the fight against ISIS, and they've been instrumental in reclaiming territories from other extremist groups. Their military might has positioned them as a key player in the Shia militia network, providing them with access to resources and influence in both Iraq and Syria. And guess what, folks? Knocking out one of their senior members is a key way to not just stoke tensions with groups that are already causing a lot of problems, but also completely escalate the entire crisis to a whole new level. And bigger picture, over the last couple of weeks, you've had a huge uptick in problems in the Red Sea area, which connects to the Suez Canal, one of the most important trading routes in the world. And as you know, the Iran-backed Houthi rebels started attacking tankers and ships of trade in that region, and then the U.S. sent a helicopter to defend them and killed Houthis, and then Iran sent its warship to send a message to America. And as a result, that whole area is now basically dead for trade. Many major companies have already rerouted their ships, but now the same thing is happening over here in the Strait of Hormuz. So what is the Strait of Hormuz, and why is it so important, Charlie Toe? Well, the Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical waterways in the world. Connecting the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Sea, it plays a significant role in global trade for many different reasons. I mean, firstly, it serves as a major transit point for oil shipments. More than 1/3 of the world's seaborne oil passes through the strait, making it a vital energy route. This is crucial for countries heavily dependent on oil imports, such as, for example, Japan and South Korea. Any disruption to this oil can have very far-reaching effects. In addition to oil, the Strait of Hormuz is also an essential route for transporting liquefied natural gas. We'll call it LNG. Qatar, one of the world's largest LNG exporters, relies heavily on the strait for its shipments. LNG is a vital energy source for many countries, providing a cleaner alternative to fossil fuels, which is a big race for people to adopt more energy efficient, more earth efficient fuels. Therefore, any disruption or closure of the strait could lead to a shortage of LNG and potentially impact the energy landscape around the world. Now, not only does this route serve as a major route for energy, but it is also a key pathway for other goods and commodities. Innumerable commercial vessels pass through the strait every single day, carrying a wide range of products such as electronics, automobiles, and textiles. Any blockage or heightened tensions in the strait can disrupt these trade routes, leading to delays and increased costs for businesses around the world. We thought we were getting away from the inflation. Well, this has the potential to bring back global inflation. So now, of course, amidst all this, the U.S. is rushing to figure out how to stop this from continuing to spiral. From the Wall Street Journal, quote, America's top diplomats are converging on the Middle East as they make a full court press to prevent the war in the Gaza Strip from sparking a broader, more destabilizing regional conflict. President Biden has sent Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and one of his most trusted White House advisors to the Middle East amid a surge in attacks across the region that have increased the risks of any missteps triggering a larger, unpredictable conflagration. So if you're Anthony Blinken right now and you're in the Middle East, you have to figure out both how to show the backing of our allies in the Middle East, but also not piss off Iran too much to the point that they escalate the conflict to a level that draws in a more direct conflict between U.S. troops and Iran. What do you think about the disaster emerging in the Middle East? Is this going to get better or is this going to get worse? Are we heading for a berries and roses, everybody's going to be peaceful situation, or are things not looking so peachy? You can let us know in the comment section down below. We love hearing from you. Let's move on. It's time to talk about what's going on in this market. So markets continue to hover around all-time highs, seeing a small bounce on Friday, the day of Fry, and some support gathering after several aggressive days of dipping. We have officially broken our red directional SMA on the 20-day, and for this current trend to continue blowing below it, well, that would be brewing a lot of negative momentum, which can be hard to stop. However, this is the week that the market can reject that and accept back upwards. We'll see if it can pull that off. We'll see. The VIX, though, look at the lovely VIX. Well, the VIX does seem to be on an overall upward momentum cycle, suggesting that fear and uncertainty are in an emerging bull market. This, again, is the crucial week to test that thesis and for markets to pick up and for markets to decide if we were heading into a Q1 pump or a Q1 dump. We don't like dumpy dumpitos here at ZipTrader, but there are opportunities to trade dumpy dumpitos if you are smart and you're paying attention. However, right now, data continues to suggest a pump, but you don't know until you know, right? And you got to keep your eyes open. Traders, they can make a thesis on where markets are going, but at the end of the day, the market has to prove the thesis. Proof and not promises. You can't just sit there and guess where markets are going to go. You got to make a thesis and then wait for the market to prove your thesis to be correct. Now, I continue to believe that the best combo to play this overall market condition is with strategic SPY calls as well as hedging with VIX calls. VIX is bound to break out in the next couple of months, regardless of whether SPY continues to go up or not. But I also believe that SPY will follow an overall uptrend and break out to all-time highs and build above them, as has been the case historically when you get breakouts to record highs. If you look at the chart over the last 100 years, when you're looking at breakouts in overall markets, well, it tends to build up to that breakout point, to that record high point. Markets are like, no, we can't break out. Then once you get the breakout, you get a lot of FOMOing in, and it just builds and builds and builds. Now, in terms of top stocks to watch this week, well, number one watch is lovely Mara. Mara has been in an overall dip recovery from the massive dip from 31.97, those beautiful cycle highs. I believe she's going to make an attempt to break past those highs in the coming weeks, and I believe Bitcoin will bail out Mara, the uptrend in Bitcoin that's heading into halving and heading into the ETF approval, which should happen in a couple of weeks. I believe that's going to bail out Mara quite a lot. And thus, I continue to believe that Mara is a key and prime play right now, specifically Mara calls. We've talked a lot about those. Number two, VIX. I know we talked about VIX a few seconds ago, but look for the next spike upward. We like the 15 strike calls expiring March 20th for her. That gives VIX plenty of time to break out of its historically low price. Number three, Palantir, the tier of Palin, PLTR. So PLTR is under pretty aggressive consolidation right now, and needlessly so. The earnings at the last report were totally killer, complete murderer. I believe shorts are having their way right now, and I expect Palantir to bottom around 14 and 49 cents support at worst. But likely she picks up and booms and fills in the gap between that support and $21.85, which means a few month out call options on the tier of Palin are starting to look quite juicy. So juicy that my lips are watering. Take a look at those March 15th 20 strike calls on the tier of Palin, trading at an ask of about 57 cents. I think you'll see those boom quite a lot heading into the next 6 or 7 weeks. Sure, Sure, maybe they lose money for another couple of weeks, but I think you're going to see Palantir pick up very, very soon. Might be more diligent to wait until she bottoms and actually proves the ability to rebound, bottoms at that 14.49 support. But again, at the end of the day, I think that overall, you can't really go that wrong if you play calls on Palantir dating out to March. If you read that last earnings report and you look at what expectations are going into the next earnings report, which I think are very, very low for what Palantir could actually do, well, I think Palantir is going to really, really boom in the next cycle, and accordingly, well, these call options should be good bets. Of course, as always, make sure to do your own due diligence on all stocks we present in these videos. They're just ideas for you to start looking at and start learning from. But at the end of the day, if you're the one taking the risk, you got to be the one doing the ultimate frisk. A lot of people, they get real risky before they do their frisky. And that is a recipe for disaster, folks. A recipe for disaster, not a entree that I'd want to eat. Anyways, folks, that caps off today's video. For those of you looking to learn a new skill, options trading for this new year, well, we just launched a brand new program, ZipTrader Options, linked right down there below. We'd love to have you in there. Coupon code HELLO2024 will get you 50% off the program's one-time fee. 2024 is going to be the year that you got to be very, very creative, leverage your money appropriately, and take advantage of the best moves in the market. And in order to do that, you got to have options in your tool set. We'll help you do that. Coupon code HELLO2024 link down below. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.